Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end is just the beginning. Hello and welcome to Indie Author Roadmap, episode 25. I am Rob Radcliffe and we have the...
Amazing, awesome, brilliant Rachel.
Amazing, awesome what?
Brilliant Rachel.
Brilliant, oh okay.
Yeah.
You're just going to keep adding words now?
Yeah, we're at 3 now. And you're just Rob?
Still just Rob, just keep it simple like me, that's fine. Absolutely fine. So how's your week been so far?
It's been alright actually.
Yeah?
I'm so close to the end of editing Jigsaw Girl.
I saw a post the other day saying, today, obviously not.
No, because I was going to finish it yesterday. It's literally just a day's work, I'll get it done. But then the sun came out.
Yeah, I also saw that post, drinking your beer.
Yeah, and I was like, I could sit inside and I can edit my book, or I can go and enjoy my empty, quiet garden and sit on the swing with a beer. And I'm like, we don't get very many days like this in the UK. I'm going to go and sit outside.
Have a life, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Outside of your own head?
Yeah. So I actually took the day off. And,
the whole day?
Took the whole day off. I sat in the garden, had a beer, reading my book. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then this morning you had an anxiety attack because you could have done 10,000 words and you didn't?
No, I didn't. But I did get up this morning and I've edited a chapter.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, right, so close to the end. I think there might be 2, maybe 3 chapters to go.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I've been fucking around with Kickstarter. Oh, God, right. So I've got this Millionaire trilogy and I put it up through to activate it. And they come back saying, no, you're not allowed it. And they won't tell me why. So I'm guessing either I didn't fill out enough stuff in like the onboarding process, but you don't need to completely create the campaign, but you have to do certain things. But I had all the ticks next to it all, and then I thought, Mr. Millionaire, innit? It's the Millionaire trilogy. The bot's going to think it's about gambling.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed gambling. So I'm like, I don't know really what to do here. So I've appealed that, and at the same time I've got the pre-launch page up on BackerKit, and I've got a few people signing up, but I'm just thinking if they come back and say no, you can't have it, then I've already started thinking, am I going to rebrand it and not call it Mr. But I love the fact
you can't rebrand it just for the sake of Kickstarter.
No, but it's been launched on Kickstarter, so
yeah.
What do I do?
Brand it just for Kickstarter, just to take out the millionaire word.
But then it'd just become Mr.
Mr. Rob.
Yeah, Mr. Rob. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit. I'm gonna wait. I'm wait.
You could name the campaign something different, right? That maybe didn't say millionaire in it.
It's just fucking ball ache, innit? It's quite obvious, but it's not obvious that it's to a bot. It's not obvious that it's fiction. So I'm waiting for him to get back to me on that. So yeah, that's all I've been doing. Just building this campaign. Looking forward to it, and I've got a page up saying that it's going to be. I'm going for like 4 months pre-launch
on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, on the Kickstarter. So I'm not really panicking about it all yet because there's so much time anyway. I'd just like to know what I'm actually going to be producing. And
actually, having the 4 months is great because when you have these kind of cock-ups, it's all right.
Yeah, well, I've been looking at loads of YouTube University, loads of authors that have done Kickstarters, and they say the longer you do it, the better, because it is a new series and it is different from my Ladlit ones. So those readers, they'll jump on it, but the hardcore rom-com blah 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 probably won't.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, I did watch this one YouTube video with someone like they got $13,000 on Kickstarter, funded $13,000. but they did. I don't know what they did. They must have just gone to the most expensive places. How much for $13,000, 128 backers? How much profit after everything would you imagine you'd have?
At least 4.
At least $4,000.
Yeah.
$700.
Wow.
Ah, fuck. But
I
I mean,
didn't know this from when I was doing my own that weren't on Kickstarter, and I was pulling in about 12 grand.
yeah,
The merchant, everything, including postage, the whole lot was half. So it
yeah.
was a 50% split, which I thought was pretty decent.
Well, this one, I mean, they went with they've got like a deluxe edition of one book, and it's foil printed on the dust jacket, and then foil printed on the case bound inside it. And it's
Wow.
that there's too much. You don't need all that, and just that was like, I think it was $4,000, and then postage was 5, and then
Yeah.
this and this and this, and they
I
spent.
mean, they're still in profit, so
Yeah, but
yeah.
fuck, man, you'd be.
It's a lot of work though, because I know when I did my boxes, I used to limit them to 50 because I know
Yeah.
they're a lot of work and there's just me and stuff. But it used to take me a whole month to pack them.
Yeah, yeah,
So £700 in that kind of aspect's pathetic because you're working and it's kind of your wage, and
Yeah.
if it takes you the whole month to pack and ship and get them out, then that's less than minimum wage.
I know. It's yeah. I thought, like you, I thought at least a third.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she at the end of it, she goes, "Some take homes. This is what I wouldn't do next time. This is what," and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think she, because the ones that I've done before, my divine one, I think I got 1,800 quid or something, and it was
Yeah.
very a lot of because it's fantasy. I got a lot of people from TikTok. I wasn't bringing them TikTok from Kickstarter. I wasn't bringing them over. People found it and thought, yeah, which was great. But I knew exactly how much postage would be. I knew the weight of the books.
Yeah.
I knew how much it would be to the US. And I think that kind of thing, you need to get some, before you even start your Kickstarter campaign, during pre-launch, is when you get your proofs of your books, so you can weigh them and you know exactly how much everything's going to cost, so you can add that in, and you know basically what you're dealing with. To go in blind and go, oh, I'll get that as well. Oh, I'll try that. Oh,
Yeah.
And also with like with your stretch goals, try and offer digital things that aren't going to cost anything more, because
I think
obviously,
like maybe authors now, because there's so many Kickstarters and some of the stuff that they put on the Kickstarters are amazing. I think everyone tries to like do the same,
yeah,
and it's just not making it complicated. There's a Facebook Kickstarter group.
yeah, I mean it.
Probably in that one, yeah. And I don't know if you saw the post. It was maybe a couple of months ago, and I think she earned something like $68,000,
Wow, nice.
but she only had about $3,000 profit, which I was like, that just no. But she
Did you have
had.
a look?
I mean, saying she, it could have been he. I didn't pay too much attention to who it was, but no. No, I didn't go and check out what they were doing because I was just scrolling social media, but I just noticed it. But they spent a lot, but it was when all this tariff shit came in,
Right.
and there was I think the profit got eaten by the tariffs.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
I don't know how that's going to work with Kickstarter now. If you because like when I did my boxes, my audience was probably predominantly American.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that stuff works now.
Well, I've got just looking the last few. Obviously, that I'm sort of building the readership on TikTok now.
And most of them will be UK then, won't they? At the moment.
Mostly, yeah, but I'm finding some about 20% is US, which is great because
Yeah.
I was happily just to go for UK.
Yeah.
It's British comedy and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, I had it the opposite way. It was probably like 20% was like the rest of the world, and then most of it was America.
Yeah, and then it's just shipping. But also, like, this is turning into a Kickstarter episode. But also, because I've been doing a lot of research, and some people have said instead of including the shipping inside your tier, so like someone pays £100 and they charged 125 for shipping or whatever. You can do it separately, so afterwards, so when you're ready to ship them all out, you get a better idea of how much shipping will cost individually. Obviously, if you've got 1,000 people, it's a bit, but you can send messages per tiers and stuff, so I guess it wouldn't be that bad. But also one good thing about having the shipping included is it's counted as your pledges, so you manage to get past your goal line quicker as well. So I guess it's here or there, isn't it? There's pros and cons. So, it's enough of that. That's what I've been doing, immersing myself in all things crowdfunding.
Yeah.
But we have some questions, I believe, and then
we do.
We've got our first ever guest on.
Victim,
yeah. I texted him this morning actually saying, "I believe you're our first victim."
He messaged me and said you'd messaged him.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
so
we have some questions from the group. I've put the glasses on so I can read them. You're answering this time.
Just so you can say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. And I haven't really read them, so they could be a load of rubbish, so I'm sorry if they are. I just copy and pasted them into a document before I ran upstairs to record.
Okay. Walked really slowly.
I did, yeah. So...
listeners and viewers won't realise that when we record these things, I usually text Rachel and say, "Right, you ready?" And she go, "Yeah." So then I'll get all my stuff, come down to the bottom of the garden, set up, get on the riverside, which is what we used to record these, and then wait, usually for about 15 minutes. And all she has to do is make a brew, maybe, and walk upstairs to a bedroom.
I have to set up.
Right, okay.
You've got another half. Is she not like this with everything?
Oh no, she's on it. She's always
really?
she's the organised one. Yeah.
See, I always have the joke that I was born 2 weeks late, so I literally started as I meant to go on. I'm just late for everything.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Right, questions. And I've not read them before, so. What do you think of the recent Amazon boycotts that some readers are doing? Do you think a debut author planning to publish this year should factor it into their decision to go wide or exclusive?
That's a good question.
It is?
What recent Amazon boycott? Is that what?
Have you been on a different planet?
No, because there's always things with Amazon.
No, so there was a big Amazon boycott at the beginning of March to cancel KU subscriptions, to basically not buy anything off Amazon and to buy their books elsewhere.
Right. Why?
I even wrote a blog post about this saying that you're hurting. Amazon won't notice this, but your indie authors do.
Yeah.
And you're basically hurting us instead of the big corporates.
Yeah. So that's the question. New author, should I not go anywhere near Amazon, basically, because of the boycott?
Yeah. Well, should they factor into the decision to go wide or exclusive? So still go on Amazon, but it's the wide or exclusive question.
Right. I mean, it's up to you, innit? If it's especially for a first-time author, and you've got all these platforms, you don't want to be overwhelming yourself with too many places. If you want to go wide, and you're new to everything, and all of a sudden you've got to deal with a million platforms, and I mean, you can go through aggregators, but there's still a lot. There's some like Amazon that you'd want to do yourself. You wouldn't want to go through an aggregator. Kobo is really simple to set up as well, and there's a few that you do yourself. So it'd mean logging onto each one to get your sales reports and stuff like that. And it's a lot. It's a lot when you're just on Amazon. So no, fuck boycotts. I mean, like, yeah, I get it. Doesn't matter. But Bezos isn't going, oh shit, 1,000 people have decided that they're not in KU. What does that even mean? They're not bothered. And like you said, it is just affecting the little guy, and we are the little guys.
We are the little guy, yeah.
Yeah. But these come around every now and again, doesn't it? The next, big thing, what we're going to do and stuff. Yeah, Amazon's a big corporation. It's a big corporation because it's popular. It's become popular because it serves its customers well. It's got the distribution channels and all the rest of it. This is the reason it's a big place, because people are visiting it because of the ease of getting your stuff. And if you want to be one of those people who they visit to get the stuff, fuck the boycotts. What do you think?
I think your first book you should put it in KU, because it's about getting the readers in, the reviews in, getting your audience.
Just getting used to being on a place.
Yeah, and like you said, you've got to mess with all the different places to publish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wide and say that again.
I said these boycotts happen all the time. People do this kind of stuff, and it did actually affect people. This one, they saw sales, but I think some of it is also to do with the recent person in power, and stuff like that. Yeah. But if I was publishing first, when I launch my next book that's going in KU.
Yeah, I mean, people get tied up with the news and all the rest of it, and your Trumps and your Bezos and your Elon Musks and stuff. But you just got to strip all that bullshit back, and readers are looking for books.
Yeah.
And Amazon is the biggest bookshop in the world by far. I believe it's 80% market share of the digital book thing. So people are looking for books on there. They're not going to stop buying because that's where they go. So it's up to you if you don't want to be there. If you feel that patriotic or whatever, fair enough. But I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm doing it again. I'm just talking, mumbling, hoping something that sounds like a thing is going to come out.
Well, you're about to launch your Millionaire series. Is that going in KU?
Yeah, all my books are in KU. It will do eventually, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So. And
I don't get massive KU, but it's Amazon, innit? And I'm not pissing around with all the other, especially when it's 80% market share. And I think my ebooks, my digital books I sell, I've only got about 10% print. So it just makes sense, this is the biggest market. I'll go all in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was a good
great question. I like
that. Next one. I'm struggling to get reviews. Can you please give me some advice?
Oh, the old chicken and egg, eh?
Yeah.
Right. The best way to get reviews is to do some email promotions. So your bargain boxes, your free boxy, all those things. Do a promotion, and you will get reviews.
Yeah, you can use all the services as well, can't you? There's Booksprout, Net Gallery.
Yeah, I've never really done that, but I mean, this is again if you're in KU. If you're in KU, you've got some promotional things where you can have your book free for 5 days, or you can do a Kindle countdown for 7 days where it's reduced in price, but you still get a 70% royalty rate. So if you do the 5 days, tally it up with when your promotions with bargain Booksy, free Booksy and Hello Books and all them. Do this free promotion. Don't think of it as, I'm giving my book away. There's a reason you're giving your book away. It's to create a buzz. It's not to get sales. And your goal is to get reviews. So do that and they will start trickling in. That's
what I did when I started, actually. I used my freebies all the time. Every I think I used it like a couple of days. It'd be a couple of days, month 1, couple of days, month 2.
Yeah.
And it was lining it up with things like free books. See, there was obviously different companies back then, but that was how I got my reviews.
Yeah, there's those. I mean, I did one with Guardian, some of book one. I had like 11 or 12 reviews, and I just couldn't get any. No matter how many sales I was getting, it didn't seem they were coming through. So I did a promo stack. I did Free Book C. I did what's it called? Hello, but I did 7 or 8 of them. It cost me about £300, and yeah, it jumped up. I had over 100 reviews within 2 months. I mean, that's, chuck a bit of money behind it. You don't have to do £300. You could just do one.
They're not that expensive, really.
That's because I stacked them all, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only really expensive one is BookBub.
Yeah, and also if you've got a list, ask the people.
Yeah.
They generally don't.
No, do newsletters. You're just getting your book out there, isn't it? And it's like, they're giving it away free is the same as what every other company does. Like, you think Coca-Cola has got a new flavour, they will put people in supermarkets with giving away samples of it.
Yeah. Treat it as a loss leader, and you'll get a few people if you write in this series that will buy the rest of them, but you will get reviews. That's that.
Yeah, but do not say I'm giving it you free in exchange of a review, because that's against the Amazon policies.
No, but that's more when it's perma-free, innit, or a reader magnet.
You can't say it at all now. You can't say to someone, I'll give you a copy of the book for free if you review it. You can't do that at all.
No, I mean, well, that's more like reader magnets and stuff to entice sign-ups, isn't it? So, you don't word it like that. You basically say, as a thank you, here's a gift.
Yeah. Next one. So, I have written 4 non-fiction books, so it's not a newbie. I'm about to utilise an ARC team for the first time and book funnel. With your experience on either of those, what are your do's and don'ts? So basically, they're setting up an ARC team. They're about to register on book funnel. What's your do's and don'ts for them?
ARC team so it's before it's published.
Your advanced reader team.
Just I've always I've never used book funnel for it, but I always set up a Facebook page as well, just for them people. Just because, I don't know, I haven't done art teams for so long. You answer this one. It depends what you want out of it.
One of the big don'ts, and I saw an author do this, it's not something I've ever done, is get angry with your ARC teams if they don't leave reviews.
Oh, yeah.
I saw an author do this a couple of years ago, and they had a Facebook group for their ARC readers, and were like, it wasn't even polite. It was like, if you've not left a review, I'm kicking you out of this group kind of post, and it got screenshotted and it went mental across Facebook. And I'm like,
oh, brilliant.
They don't owe you anything. You're not entitled to anything off these people. If they get the book off you for free, and they never read it, delete it, or read it and hate it, and don't leave a review and just sit there as a freebie, fine. You've just got to let it go.
Yeah, I guess if you start going ape shit at your art readers, you are going to get a review, but you're not going to like it.
No.
No. I remember I was releasing one of my blog books. It was called Rant years ago, and I had about 150 people on my art, street to art team me thing, and it was release day. I sent an email, and I got what was the open rate? About 80% open rate. And with your link to leave a review, and I got 6 reviews, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is the reason you're here, and you can't even be bothered doing that. But like you say, I mean, because they don't owe you anything,
No. One of the things I say to people on my ARC team is, if you are going to leave me a 3-star review, and it's because of something like the editing's shit somewhere, or I've got typos, could you message me those things so I can go and fix them?
Yeah.
Because obviously I don't know they're there.
Yeah. They generally do though, don't they? Because they do feel like they're on your team.
Yeah. Most people like it. They do it because they like your books and stuff.
Yeah.
The other one is keep track as well, because if you have an ARC team and you've got someone who's always getting the book and never leaves a single review,
Yeah.
you can't say to them, "I'm kicking you because you're not reviewing," but you can be like, "I don't," you just like, what's the word when you're going through everything and it's not culling, housekeeping.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you do want them there to do the reviews or the promotion or sharing it, and if they have had 20 books off you and never said to somebody, "This book's amazing," or whatever, then you're going to be like, "Why am I giving you my books?"
Yeah, I mean, you find ARC readers from your list, people who bought them, the super fans become your ARC team, and then still buy the book anyway because they're on your team. But I've found that running book funnel promotions, it is full of people who just want free books, which is great. But if they like your book, they're great for your art team, and they will do the things. These book funnel promotions, they're generally full of old people who just want to read lots of books. I've found, and they've got the time to help you out and stuff. But yeah, just don't think they owe you anything. That's the
Don't take it personal.
Yeah. I remember I sent out a message when I got like 6 reviews. It wasn't really horrible. It was just like, "Come on, guys, what we doing? Who's read it? Please message me back. I just want to know what." But I mean, there's stuff that you can. I mean, I just had a Facebook group and an email list, so it was kind of like out into the void for me, waiting for something to come back. But now you can track like who's read. You can also track how far they are through the book and all sorts now. Through Book Funnel, I think, and Book Spout also. I'm not sure about the other
some
ones.
of the kind of technical things is if you put it in KU, make sure you've got an expiration date on your book funnel.
Yeah. Otherwise.
And the other one is watching the landing page, because I once put it is a landing page of anyone with this link, and I was getting a lot of downloads on it, and it had someone had forwarded it to somebody, and then it got forwarded. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So you can have it, because my ARC readers are on my Patreon, so it verifies the email address and will only. In fact, no, I don't use that now. That was what I did switch to. But you can send out certified mail, and it's a unique link to that person. So if they forward it, it voids the link.
What's that through? Book Funnel?
Book Funnel, yeah. So if you use the certified mail function, the link can only be downloaded once.
Right.
So if someone else downloads it, then that's it. They've lost their copy. But you can see who's downloaded it and who's just had it.
Okay. Cool. Right.
Yeah. I don't know if we answered that question very well, but
yeah, you did. Do's and don'ts. Just don't take it personally. Be nice. They don't owe you anything.
I see a lot of people on TikTok now advertising for ARC readers, which I've tried it, and I've actually got some ARC readers from it, and it's really cool. But I see lots of people giving away thousands of copies. Would you do that?
No.
No.
Reviews aren't that important. No. Reviews aren't that important. Once you've got a few, it doesn't matter. I mean, you get up to 100 reviews. It could be 100, it could be 400. No one's really looking anymore. It's just getting a few reviews. Getting into triple figures is what you want. But it's only really for the book one that you really need that. Because if these people are reading it, like it, they don't care that, book 5's only got 3 reviews. I'm not going to bother read it because
that's mostly
they're in the funnel, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think that on the reviews is mostly for you. If you've got 1,000 reviews on book 1, and then every other book's only got 5 reviews, then that's for you to start going, why are we not following through? Or are we following through and they're just not reviewing?
Well, I have that with Meat Market, but that's because Meat Market was my first. I started doing free promos and all the rest of it for that one. So I've got all these reviews. And when a couple of years ago, Amazon released all these reviews that was owed back to you, I went from 300 reviews to over 1,000.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is great. You know? But that's why, and then obviously my marketing efforts are always on that first book as well. So it's a bit of a trickle effect for the rest of the, unless you do get a lot of art readers and then you shoot up. but I'm not that bothered
No.
about review because if they like book one, they're moving on. They're not looking at how many reviews they're looking at the next book, aren't they?
Yeah. The other one that I said was like a question-ish was one. It was a question that someone asked us in our group, and I actually answered it, and so did you. But I thought maybe you just want to answer it on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's that one where Simon wished us Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So he said, it's a KU actually. Usually I don't do KU, but for my book coming out next week, I've decided to give it a whirl. When I look at the product page on Amazon, it gives a pre-order for the ebook, but not pre-order to read in KU. Is this correct, or have I messed up?
Yeah, your book isn't in KU until it's live.
Yeah. Which is why, on that other question of book funnel, if I had a pre-order up for 3 months, I would have it in book funnel, but I'd make sure the expiration date was the day before release, because then it registers in KU.
Or maybe even day before, depending on America timelines. Yeah.
So that was our 4 questions.
Our 4 questions of doom.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And now we're going to do something really different now. So we're going to go away and come back with Mike Hibbert, our first. He was one of our first people to join the group, and he's always chatting in the group and all the rest of it. So we shall be back soon. It's dead great this because I can now edit the woo music, and then we'll be there. So Mike Hibbert.
I was thinking, should we have done a what Joanna Penn does? You know, when she introduces them and tells the listener all about. Have you listened to Joanna Penn?
Yeah. No, fuck that. He can do it. Yeah.
I just don't want one where we go, tell us about yourself, and he goes, I'm Mike.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's fine. So Mike Hibbert, everyone. Here we have Mike Hibbert with us, our first ever victim. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, thanks for having me on, chaps and chappess.
Thank you, welcome.
So now, what you're going to have to be aware of, we're going to keep stopping and starting because this is the first ever interview either of us have done. Have you done any before?
No.
No. So if it goes really quiet or seems to have paused, we're just trying to think of things to say. Yeah. The connection's fine. It's just us going, oh, fuck, there's another real person here. We need to figure something out. So, should we start?
I'm definitely one of those that you don't want to give free airtime to because I will just talk. So
that's brilliant. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Because we were saying we don't want one of these people where we go, tell us about yourself, and you go, I'm Mike.
I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to a podcast, and I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and they were doing that. Like, so what do you write? Books, and then you should have edited that, like that pause, but they just kept it all in. It's like, oh, this is really bad. Oh. So, Mike, you're an author of 4 books I'm aware of because I've checked up on you. So, tell us a bit about yourself and your books.
Okay, so I'm Mike. Oh, everyone's more. I'm Mike Hibbert. I'm an IT project manager living the fair county of Gloucestershire. And I reckon I've been writing probably for 3 years now. Historically, and I don't know whether I think you both follow me on Facebook or friends of me on Facebook. I put something up the other day. 13 years ago, I first had an idea for a book. Not the books that I'm writing, but I knew at that point that I wanted to write, and it took me probably 10 years to get my arse in gear and to actually do it. I'm not the speediest of disciples, but eventually I got myself. I think it was lockdown, really. I think we all got to lockdown and thought, I want to do something a little bit different. I've always been a role player, a board gamer, a storyteller of sorts. Within the role playing side of things. So for me, it was very natural to dive into that genre, the fantasy role playing kind of thing. But also, I'm partly trained as a counsellor, and I'm very passionate about men's health and children's mental health. And I wanted to try and see if I could put the three things or the two things together. So, coming of age, trying to navigate that kind of thing, and put that together with some kind of role play fantasy type of story. So, probably 3 years ago now, I got to NaNoWriMo time. And literally 2 days before, I thought, I think I'll write a book. So I did. There was no planning, no planning whatsoever, really. I remember setting my alarm on the 1st of November, got up at 5 o'clock, sat in bed with my laptop and thought, right, I've got to get to 1,667 words, ready, steady, go. And then got to the end and thought, well, actually, that was all right. I quite enjoyed that.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have another go tomorrow, another 1,667. And I was absolutely bloody diligent on that. I stuck to my 1,667. I finished sentences, obviously. But
like Rob.
I was quite lucky, not financially, but quite luckily for book writing wise. I got made redundant halfway through November. So I finished it a bit early, and it gave me the opportunity to then finish off writing. I think I took it up to sort of like 75,000 or so, and edited it and sent it off. I did all those things that you're supposed to. Sent it off to an editor, that's pretty much how I got started.
Did you want to? Did you know you wanted to go indie, or were you thinking you're going to send it off to a publisher? Or were you not sure?
So at that time, I wanted. Well, in my head, I was going to do the standard publishing route, but that I'm a strong believer in trusting your gut. I wrote it, I got it edited, got it sent back. And at that point, I just thought to myself, right, I'm going to send it off. And within, maybe 20 minutes of having sent it off, and I'm pressing F5, 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 why has nobody written back? Surely they'd have written back by now.
It's been 11 minutes. Why wouldn't it have?
Yeah. So why would you not have written back to me? And I think within 20 minutes or so, I knew that I didn't have the temperament to be a published author. I looked at it and I thought, no, that's not for me. I'm very much a master of my own destiny kind of person. I wanted to be in control. So I think I reached out to Adrian Cousins, who writes all those splendid time travel-y books.
Yeah.
And I asked him a question on one of his pages, on one of his posts on Facebook, and he said, look, pay it forward. People were always great to me. Let's get on a call. So I jumped on a call with Adrian, and he just talked to me through the whole, this is how you do it if you want to be a self-published. So I just went and did it.
Oh, fantastic.
That's the thing that's good about indies, though. I think we all like to pay it forward, hence the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, and if by some absolute miracle one day I make it big time, then I'm going to be doing the same thing. And in fact, I did the same thing even before I've made it big time.
Yeah, I was reading something and someone said, no matter where you are in your journey, you're always 1% ahead of somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the reasons when we started this waffle fest that we were going to go for new authors, just because we're experienced enough to be able to tell people, new authors definitively, this is what you should do. And also, it's the most confusing time that you get information overload, different opinions here, there, and everywhere, and it's just sorting through it all to have a plan. That's sort of what we try and do, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's kind of lonely as well when you're at the beginning, because you don't really know any other indie authors, and your people in your real life kind of think you're a bit weird.
Absolutely. And I sort of fell foul of all the new things I got I got lots of friends to read my books,
Yeah.
and I listened to their feedback. Even when my gut said, "Oh, I disagree," this bit didn't work or that bit didn't work, and I read it again and think, no, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to tell that story. So, um, I think you're right. It's really easy to just pick up on everybody around you and say, well, I'll listen to everybody, and then all of a sudden it's like your book, your baby,
It's a mess.
it's not your baby anymore. It's like it's a pulled together by a committee, and that never works.
Your nano journey started similar to mine. I discovered NaNoWriMo 4 days in, and I was like, I'm going to join this.
But with the amount of pages you write, or the amount of words you write, I imagine you caught up and over to quite quickly.
Oh no, because this was 20 years ago, so yeah.
It's just an afternoon for you now, isn't it, NaNoWriMo?
It is.
I was saddened to see that Nano had gone now.
I know.
I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. Are you part of May I Write with Craig Martell?
No.
Oh,
No.
I've been doing that. That's very cool.
Okay. No, I set up, probably last August, I set up a 5 a.m. accountability club. And there's only 3 of us on it. And we just meet up every morning at 5 o'clock. We don't talk or anything. We just type, check in, I'm going to be doing editing this morning or whatever. And then we check out somewhere between 6 and 7 and say, right, I've done my bit. Have a great day.
Yeah.
But I find that really keeps us, it certainly keeps me honest, and it keeps me doing something. Even if like this morning, I did a lot of editing over the weekend. I got quite a lot of stuff done that I'd wanted to do. So I got to about 5:15. I thought, I'm just not going to get up. I'm just, I don't need to. And then about 5:20, I thought, but I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I did. I didn't do my full hour at 5, but I still got up and I did something.
Yeah, I was a member of one of those, check-in groups at 5 kind of thing, and it was an author on, I can't remember her name now, but she'd go on TikTok live, and then we'd do, I'll check back in an hour kind of thing. But I felt like I just wanted to chat because there was someone else at that time in the morning. I'm like, oh, hey, what are you doing? And she started ignoring my texts, coming up on the live thing. I'm like, yeah, the reason we're here is to write, Rob. Just stop,
And that's exactly why because when we first did it, I think the other person that we started, and she sort of went on to the chat, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because I know, like you, Rob, I'll just sit there and natter. I'm quite happy nattering.
Yeah. See, I used to run things like that, but I had an American friend that would get up and write with me, and I have like an alarm that goes on my computer, so it's quite strict, and it'd go off. He's like, it's time to write. I'm like, yep, time to write, and off we go. But it even had a set chat time, so it's like 5 minutes. That's all you get in, and then we're writing.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think, I do struggle with all the other distractions, the minutiae of life, particularly around the socials and things like that.
Yeah.
So I run Stay Focused, I think it's called. So that only allows me a certain amount of time on different websites and things like that. And it's blocked. Like I've blocked Twitter completely now, just because, it's gone mad. And I know I'd spend lots of time finding people to argue with. Well, literally anything better than actually sitting down and doing your writing, isn't it? Even arguing with strangers, it's I'll do that instead.
One of the things I started years ago to stop me being distracted was I have a piece of paper next to me. When your brain pops up like random questions that have nothing to do with your book. You'll be writing away and suddenly it'll say, I don't know, do seagulls pee, is what your brain asks. And so I'll write that question down, and then when I finish my writing time, the reward is I can go and look them all up, whatever my brain has come up with, and I find I'm not interested anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. Why would you be interested in that? But at the moment, at that point in time, it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so write it down, get it out of your head, and then carry on.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. I might have to do that.
So tell us a bit about your books.
Right, I've written 4
I know
books.
everyone hates talking about their own books.
I know.
They have words.
Yeah, they are books. So I've written 4 books. They're 4 books in I comically say 4 books in the trilogy. It was going to be a trilogy, um, and then I couldn't quite get it all done in 3, so I added the 4th one in. Essentially, the books are split into 2 different storylines. You've got the real world storyline about a group of they start as sort of 15, 16, but by the end of the 4th book, they're sort of 18, 19. They are 4 teenagers who are navigating school and emotions and friendship groups and bereavements and all the sorts of things that we do. And there's some one of them sort of has anxiety and overthinking and all the most of it's all sort of based on my head, really.
Yeah.
And they play role-playing games, specifically Dungeons and Dragons, like all cool people do. And then you flick over to the story that they're actually telling. So it's a 2-part story. You have the human real world side of things, but then you get to see what story is that they're telling. So I'm hoping that the fantasy side of it is compelling and people want to read a fantasy story, but also there's a coming of age-ness associated with it too, as they come to terms with everyday life, really.
Yeah.
So
it's lit RPG.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing it. Oh, we're doing it, aren't we? Talking over each other all the time. You go, Ray.
I was just going to say, is it basically lit RPG?
It's essentially lit RPG, but it's almost, I suppose. I was chatting to my friend ChatGPT the other day, and one of the things that it suggested I marketed towards was listeners of actual play podcasts.
Right.
And it's an actual play podcast, effectively. It's a bunch of real people telling a story, and you get to hear the story as well, and then you get a little insight into their lives. So yeah, lit RPG, actual play podcasts, that kind of thing.
Lit RPG at the moment is going. It's become really popular since Ready Player One, and I guess Jumanji. That's the same thing, really, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I think. Was it AP Beswick's that told you the other week that you need to jump on it, Rachel?
Yeah, and I've got that was one of the ones. When we did our Works in Progress episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found 2 more, and one of them was lit RPG.
RPG. Oh my god.
I think it's very accessible, isn't it? And there are a lot of people. I think Lockdown has done some wonderful things for RPGs in general. I mean, if I'd have said 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, something like that I was a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I would very definitely be labelled and ridiculed. Whereas now it's much more accessible. The Dungeons and Dragons film was made. There's a lot of podcasts out there, and it's become a really strong way that people express themselves. I know if you look on Twitter, before Twitter ate itself, that it was very strong there was a very strong community of people that played for all sorts of reasons, but most of them was it allows me to express my real self without actually having to, I can cosplay the life I want, and nobody gets to.
It also gives, especially the teenagers, confidence.
Yeah.
Because they can literally stepping into an avatar of like their internal self.
Yeah.
Wearing that mask.
Yeah, I did last year watch some grown man rage quit in a D&D game because he put some barrier up, forgetting that one of the characters had a certain power, and they got through the barrier and they completely went nuts and rage quit.
Oh, it's just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's that mask wearing that I sort of tap into in the book, whereby my 4 characters, each book is focused on one of the 4 um, character and um, character and real person pair. So the first book is Colin, who plays Sebastian the Warlock, and it's very much a case of he's wearing the mask of I want to be as strong as Sebastian.
Yeah.
I want to solve my problems. How would Sebastian do it? And it's all drilling into that, I suppose. I actually want to read my own books again now. They say. Yeah.
So when you were starting out publishing, did you have any challenges to getting them out there?
Yeah, very, very much so. Um, Lots of steps as well. I think I did the 7 questions on two indie authors, and one of the things that I realised as I took the journey, it's like I kept coming up against stumbling blocks, and every time I come across a stumbling block, it was, well, here's another skill I've learned. So I've had to learn firstly editing. For my first book, I sent it off to an editor. Second book, sent it off to an editor, but got a bit burnt on that one.
Not the same editor?
So, no, different editor. It's well documented. I'll leave it at that. So at that point, I then had to, because I didn't have any money left, I had to then re-edit, and then book 3 and now book 4, I've taught myself the editing skills, and I think I've actually got quite good at it. I've got a nice little system going. I use lots of supporting software to help me, but ultimately it's a case of going through it line by line, isn't it?
Yeah.
So editing, I've learned, and then all the things like making your covers, advertising, getting even to the extent of having a nice little page at the top, or screen thing at the top of your Facebook, setting up your website,
banner creation.
Yeah, banner. Yeah, all of those sorts of things. It's all been a learning curve to me. I was very lucky. I've got a friend who's a fabulous artist, and he's done my covers, but you've still got to lay them out. You've still got to choose the right fonts. You've still got to choose everything. And I got bogged down with, well, I really like that font, and someone would say, well, that's not a fantasy font, that's a thriller font.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that thing, and then it was like, well, hang on a sec, more than one person's telling me this, so maybe they've got a point. So you then keep looking again. But yeah, I've learned loads, and that's really been I suppose the biggest barrier is the amount of stuff that I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you find that you'll start helping others, with what you know, because there's always a new person that'll ask the question, and you're like, well, hang on a minute. I banged my head against the wall for a week trying to figure that out, and now I'm an expert at it because of it. And then you'll be able to, share your wisdom as well, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause, I mean, in the past, sort of funny little thing, I've done a few Kickstarters with some mates. We had a little role-playing game publishing company, and I spotted a question. Someone had asked a question about having their Kickstarter rejected because they'd not put enough detail in. So I answered the question, and I realised it was you. It's like all these little things that goes round and round in circles. You don't know. I didn't spot that it was you that had asked that question.
Yeah.
But it was like, right, well, I'll just jump on and answer that because I know the answer to this one.
Yeah. We were literally talking about that before we came on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you only know what you know, don't you? And
yeah.
You still, and that's one of the best things about these groups and stuff. There's always people that can answer your questions and steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think you guys came along just at the right time, as far as I'm concerned, because obviously, I don't know what intended or otherwise. You filled a vacuum by the two indie authors stopping, and it was, well, there needs to be something. I'm not gonna do it because I'm far too down the food chain sort of thing to add that. I can answer a few questions, but I don't really add value.
Yeah,
But
well, that was one of the things that we spoke about before we started Indie Author Roadmap. Was I love two indie authors. I was on it
mm,
like you know, and it was my favourite podcast. And I loved the bits where they're just chatting, you know. So
Yeah.
sort of wanted it to be very much that, as opposed to always having guest heavy like the self publishing formula podcast. That was very guest heavy, and but that finished. Two indie authors finished, and there did seem to be this vacuum that I'm not sure we've filled, but we're trying to, aren't we?
it's certainly filling, and
Yeah.
it's from my perspective, it's working really well. I enjoy the back and forth and the I'll call it nonsense banter, um, because it works really well. It's very radio friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Our first compliment live.
We are
So
very
if anyone
friendly.
disagrees, you're wrong.
I've
No,
just checked my bank, Rob,
you're
and that tenner hasn't gone in for that compliment. Could you send it again, please?
Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about that. We'll edit that bit out as well. It's fine. So, what are you? How are you marketing your books at the moment? Like, have you got an email list, or I've seen you on
So
TikTok.
that's my next task, really.
Yeah.
So I'm very conscious that of the sort of the idea of there's no point really spending money on anything until you've got a complete series, because you don't get the read through and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I've now got a complete series, or I will have in in a few weeks, month or so. So I'm at the moment I'm looking at I'm I'm unsure is the honest answer, and maybe that's something that you guys can sort of feed into. Uh, I think my target market probably isn't Facebook, because
They're
we're
old.
all oldies, and I want the youth in it.
Yeah.
I think I probably could do some marketing through Facebook, but aimed at Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then TikTok feels very much like my it's where I find my tribe sort of thing.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to see real life visions of some old knacker going, you should read my book, kids. So I think I'd probably end up doing, and I was talking to you both recently about the sort of the slideshow effect on TikTok, which I think is probably the right thing for me, my book.
Yeah.
But then I will probably do some of that, and do some paid promotions in TikTok and in Instagram.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, I suppose, I've got a website. Well, I did have a website. It's I think it's a bit like yours, Rachel.
Empty.
It's under maintenance at the moment. I need to get myself sorted with that. And I'll be honest, what I suspect I might do is I might just put it back onto a what's that list page thingy that you can do? I can't remember what it's called now.
List
that'll come.
page thingy.
Yeah,
List.
yeah,
That's what we're calling
yeah.
it. List page thingy.
List page thingy. I don't think that's its real name. But rather than that where Linktree.
Right.
I might
Oh,
just
right, yeah.
fancy.
Oh,
I might
well,
set up a-
that list page thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Got a list of links for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might set up a fancy one of them, and then just point that. I've got MailerLite set up with some bits, and I'll give away a map of my land,
Yeah.
map of the world, as a funnel. But yeah, that side of things, I'm not the best at yet.
All the techie bits behind the scenes.
Well, I've worked in IT for 40 years, or nearly 40 years. I should be reasonably good at it. I'm just a bit lazy when it comes to doing that sort of stuff.
You've got to get the words down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you still do the counselling side in real life?
So no. So what I have done is I've done the first 2 years of the sort of counselling skills side of things. So like active listening and moving towards that sort of therapeutic counselling. But the next step would be would need me to effectively not work full time.
Yeah.
And at the moment we've got young kids, although they are getting a bit older. I can't really afford to not work full time. So that's a back burner thing or something that will or won't get looked at. Its goal might well have just been to focus my writing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So you've finished your 4-book series.
Yeah,
Have you got a box set?
I will do once I've finished once I've got the fourth one up and running.
It's on
Then
pre-order at the moment.
it's on pre-order. Yeah,
It's just that I went on your page and I noticed that there was 4 books. I didn't see that. Yeah.
yeah. Last one's on pre-order. Can you have a box set before with a pre-order? Probably can't, can you?
You'd have to put it on pre-order as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That'd be a bit weird because the other 3 books are out. Having
Yeah,
it on.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I will do a box set when that's finished or when I've published them. I've got a publish date of the 31st of July, but I reckon I'll be early.
Yeah.
So once I've got that done, then I'll do the next bit, which is a box set. It'd be nice if it actually. I assume it doesn't. An actual proper boxed set. That would be quite good. Is that what you're doing on Kickstarter? I guess.
Yeah. Well, it will be. There will be an actual, but yeah, because Book Vault, you can now have the
Yeah, the
actual
sleeves, don't you?
box. Instead of just saying it's a box set and three. Yeah, so I'm looking into. I definitely want that for it because it'd be just nice and
Yeah,
it's just nice in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you do the box set for Amazon, you can get box set mock-ups, so it looks like a box set, as your picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that'd be quite nice.
So what are your plans for next? You've got your series finished. What's the?
Yeah. So I want to spend. I've got an idea for another series, sort of leaning into sort of spy and like slightly humorous time travel stuff. I absolutely hoover up time travel books,
Yeah,
so I just love them.
What's your favourite time travel book?
What's his name? It's the chap that did the 86 fix. Those ones.
Jason. No.
Yeah, Neil Parsons, is it?
Keith A. Pearson.
Keith and
Okay.
Pitt. Yeah, I thought it was Pitt. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Pearson. Yeah. So his series of books, I think, are probably my favourites.
And he's got the Whatever Happened to St Clements and stuff for those ones.
Yeah, those ones. Yeah, all of those. His latest one, I think the last. So he's just done the second in a 2-part. I think it's going to go on to third. Has been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. So I read a lot of those. I read a lot of what's his name? Rhys Dillon, the DCI Warlow crime books. I read quite a lot, so I sort of race through stuff. Oh yes, that was where we were going, wasn't it? So it will be a time traveling kind of thing, but I live in Gloucester, very close to Cheltenham GCHQ, so it's going to be a little bit of a spy time traveling thing.
Cool. Is it going to be under your name, or are you going to?
Yeah, well, interestingly, and I have really been interested in listening to your thoughts on it previously. I think I will end up just keeping it in my name because I think I find the marketing and the push and the constant socials a little bit hard anyway, and
Yeah.
then to double it up and say, right, well, I'm going to do that twice. I'm gonna hopefully get it all done and successful, and now I'm going to start again. I just think that would kill me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can tell you, as someone
I mean,
who has two.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah. I
end
just
up
saw you
ignoring one.
laughing then, Rachel. You know, because that's
No,
your
no,
life.
I was going to say, 'cause I have two, and it's a pain, and you'll find I focus on one name and forget the other, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got these books.
Oh, I need to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The
Got
very
pen
reason
name
I've just gone back just to Rob Radcliffe, because it's
Yeah.
just I was concentrating so much on which shall I do, what shall I do, and I just wasn't doing anything. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
If I didn't have such a reader base on my other name, I would combine them.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So
I think
talking of mistakes, have you made any mistakes apart from the editor one?
the editor was a doozy. That lost me actual money.
Yeah.
Hard-earned cash. In terms of other mistakes, probably not. I mean, nothing major.
Yeah.
Maybe potentially sort of putting the wrong file up and then only realising it, and getting myself just a bit in a pickle kind of side of things. But nothing. I don't think there's not been anything major. I'm a project manager in my day job, so I'm usually fairly methodical. So, if I've got to do something, a lot of times I'm writing lists and I'm ticking boxes and stuff. I can't think of any time where I've done a proper cock up. I've painted myself into a corner several times within the books.
That's just the joys of pantsing, isn't it?
Yeah. The way I've done it, I don't know if you remember from when I did Indie Authors. The way I've done it is I've tended to treat it very much like a role-playing game. So I roll a lot of dice for a lot of things. So I don't know, for walking down a corridor. There was one bit at the end. There was a corridor with a door at the end, and my characters were going to go open the door. And I thought, I wonder if there's a trap. Let's have a look. Get the dice out. I roll on. I use different products. So I have like an oracle table and traps and monsters and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the time I'm rolling dice to see what happens next. And sometimes they can paint you into a corner when is there a trap? Yes, there is. Oh, is my lead character going to trigger the trap? Yes, she is. Oops. Right. What am I going to do now? Because she was going to open the door and there was going to be a baddie there. So when they go in the door, something's going to have to have changed now. So it's like, okay.
So that's
I quite enjoy that,
isn't it? If you've got dice.
It's real pantsing. It's real. I've got my big collection of dice and...
So you literally Dungeons and Dragons, you plot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I had a big ongoing story arc. I knew Baddie Lady was doing this, and then Baddie Man would do this, and the whole story would be from A to B. But the individual bits along the way, that's been very much pantsed via dice and lookup tables.
That's
the way I've been telling stories for 30 years, or 40 years. I first played Dungeons and Dragons when I was 11, so 44 years ago.
See, I wish that was a game I'd have got into as a kid. I'm a World of Warcraft player, so.
Right. I was as well. I loved WoW for a long time.
I still play it.
Do you? I assume you're Horde, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, me too.
Rob's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just smile and nod. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just so when you write in your books, you're literally rolling dice to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I've got a series of different downloadable charts and things like this. Some of them are called like the Oracle. So you'll ask a question, and then you'll roll a dice, and it'll be yes. So weak yes, strong yes, same for no, and then there'll be yes perhaps or yes buts and things like that. So you ask your question, you roll your dice, and it'll go yes but, and then you think, right, well, can I think of a but, or shall I consult something else?
What advice would you have to newbie authors, people that are just behind you?
So
You know,
one of the bits of advice that I first got was the thing that sells your book best is your next book kind of thing. And I think definitely if you're writing in a series, then just write. Don't try and overthink it. Don't assume that you're going to be a success overnight. You might be, and that'd be brilliant. But just get out there and write. Write as much as you can, and write as close to every day as you possibly can. I think the other bit of advice might not be as you might have views other ways, but do most of it yourself. So where you can, so if you can learn to edit, then get off and learn to edit and do your books and things like that.
I've often found, I mean, I've edited books. You have as well, haven't you, Rachel? And other authors' books. I've always found that editing my own, no matter how long I leave it, I'm concentrating because I know plot beats are coming up and stuff. It's a lot more difficult to edit. Obviously, like tidying it up, yeah, but like to edit it, yeah, it's
I think
it can be difficult.
You're right. You need somebody. You need a you need someone that's going to look at the whole thing and say it doesn't make sense. But you can save yourself a lot of money by doing your grammar, your spelling, am I doing comma splicing and all that kind of gubbins. You can teach yourself the basics and go through.
And also, art readers are good for that as well. You know, if you've got a group of art readers and with a few eagle eyes, then they do a lot of the heavy lifting as well, I guess.
One of my favourite editing things now is to use Speechify, because I will get it to read me the chapter, because it will find you can hear the words that you've got in the wrong place, or if you've got you can just hear your problems.
Yeah. So is that software or is that?
Yeah, it's software. It's like you can always get a deal on it. I think it's like £60 for the year. And you can just put as many documents in it, and I always get either Mr. Beast or Gwyneth Paltrow to read my work back to me, depending on if I want male or female. But it picks up, I can't think what the word is for it now, but when you've got the right word but it's in the wrong place.
Yeah. So I know you like your ChatGPT. I've just written a custom ChatGPT thing to do that for me as well. So I've got it looking, and again, don't change anything. Don't try and be clever and rewrite my words for me. But just where I've used the wrong word, but it's spelled correctly. And for me, it's the complaint and compliant. A transposition of an A and an I, two completely different words. And show me where I've got those, because I probably wouldn't even see them if I reread it myself. You've got to hear it or get ChatGPT to do it. And I've actually had some relative success with it doing that for me. They're
really good though, the AIs, because I've been using ChatGPT at the moment while going through my Jigsaw Girl, if you've heard that I was re-editing it, but to get the police procedure right. So I've been putting the chaps in and going, is this correct procedure? Would this actually happen?
Yeah.
And it has come back a couple of times going, no, if you put this in, it slows the pace of your story down, and because you're on Act 3, you really need to get rid of that. And it's been great. It's a good partner.
And absolutely. And I think, I got roundly jumped on TikTok a while ago, and I put something up. It was a ChatGPT generated picture, and I got your ruining life for authors, artists, and I get really that. Artists. I absolutely I get why people are scared, but I think it comes from a position of misunderstanding and a reluctance to to get involved. So I've got
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how are you ruining the life of an artist? You would never have
exactly.
gone to an artist
Yeah.
and gone, "Oh, can you make me loads of bits for
You wouldn't
bullshit?"
pay it,
No,
would you?
and I think
No.
that it's really interesting because it's always the same double-edged prong of you're stealing an artist's job. Well, I wouldn't ever pay money to
No.
an artist to do that because I don't have any
For
money.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that
Yeah.
money. Well, all of the content on ChatGPT, it's all been stolen. What was that? I sort of yes,
But it's here.
it's out there in the world,
Well,
isn't it?
do you know when they say that? Because you hear it all the time. I'm like, prove it. You're throwing this around at me. Prove that it's actually been stolen.
And
And
also,
which bits were yours?
do you then say to real physical people artists, well, you can't go to an art gallery in case you look at something and then get inspired by that and steal that style? I can't imagine
In that,
Dali is the only
yeah.
person that paints in that style.
Yeah, exactly.
But in that case, then every writer, after the first few hundred, are all thieves, because I can tell you that my learning to write comes from all the books I've ever read.
Of course it does.
Which is exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where'd your ideas come from? From reading.
Exactly. Reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's the only way that you can inspire yourself is to be inspired by other people.
Yeah.
I'm a fantasy writer. Well, of course, stuff. I use elves, I use dwarfs, and that's all popularized by Tolkien and Gary Gygax across the years and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. I understand why you're scared, but I do think you need to lean into it more. I've got a friend who's a really, really good artist, and rather than be scared of it, he's on Midjourney all the time, producing absolutely brilliant stuff because he's an artist, not just a drawer. So, is reading dictation. Sorry, is dictation really writing? Well, yeah, of course it is. It's writing a book. It's just not physically using a pen. It's using a different thing. And my mate Andy, he's a bloody good artist, but he uses words to describe something rather than his pen. I mean, he could do it with a pen as well, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love saying to people though that AI isn't going to steal your job. It's someone who knows how to use AI is going to steal your job.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I use that as well. I spend a lot of time. I mean, I use AI at work. It builds my plans for me. It writes my stuff. We did a thing a while back, and I recorded the call, and I transcribed it. I used those notes to go into ChatGPT, and I then took that and turned it into a design document. So it's an afternoon's work, whereas that would have been weeks of work beforehand.
Yeah,
and it's
you can't avoid it, can you? You can't avoid even sending a text message. The AI is going to tell you what it thinks the next word you're going to put in. You really can't. So if you don't get on board, then you're just going to be. In a couple of years' time, you're just going to be completely lost, aren't you?
Yeah, my son's doing his A-levels at the moment, and we've written custom ChatGPT or custom GPTs for him to act as a tutor. So what he'll do is he'll have a maths question, he'll take a photo of it, pop it into ChatGPT, and it won't tell him the answer, but it will go, "Oh, this looks like a whatever. Have you thought about whatevering?" I don't know maths terms. Do you know what I mean?
That is a maths term.
Exactly.
Whatevering
on it. And then he'll go, "Oh yeah, that's such and such," and that kickstarts him. And he obviously can't do that in his exam, but the more he realizes, "Oh, actually, I do know that one," off he goes.
Yeah. But he's got a teacher on hand to keep going over it until he knows how to do that.
Yeah,
specific
exactly.
Kind of
Exactly. I think I pay £20 a month for like the pro version of ChatGPT. It is unequivocally the best £20 I spend. It's without question.
I wish they'd have been around when I did my degree, it would have saved me spending hours reading journals.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
Could have taught.
I put all my books into Notebook LM now, and then go, are there any plot holes? You know,
Yeah.
is
Do you know you
Yeah.
can put it into ChatGPT?
sorry.
You can put it into ChatGPT. Do you know that?
Yes, but I think Notebook LM probably, to me, feels better for doing the here's lots of different bits of text.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, how do they sort of stitch together?
Yeah. Have you put your got Notebook LM to do your book as a podcast?
Yeah. Oh, it's fabulous.
It's so
So
funny.
good. I love the way that Hibbert does this.
Yeah. 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 What I like about putting I did it with one of my books recently, is you put the whole book into chat, and I asked it to give me a full sentence summary of every chapter. So I had an outline of my book.
That's really
Yeah, it's
good.
fantastic, isn't it?
That's a really
Yeah.
good. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, asked it to give me who the important characters and any important scene beats that happen.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good idea. And you just presumably just put it up as a text file.
You put it as a Word document and upload it, and it'll give you. It does it in about batches of 5 chapters,
Right.
and then so it'll do it, and it'll go like, "Do you want chapters 6 to 10 now?" And I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
please."
Okay.
And I just
That's quite a good
copy and
idea.
paste it.
I've had it writing.
Yeah.
I've had it writing blurbs for me and things like that. And I've just gone through and I've put up all of my chapters, cut and pasted individually, and done the what words, you know, the proofreading thing. And then at the end it says, "Would you like a blurb?" Oh, hang on, yeah, go on then. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
It is, yeah. Although some of the blurbs I think start sounding the same, because I do freelance work for Vinci, and I think I've read so many blurbs now I can spot the real AI ones.
Yeah.
It also does like text for your TikToks and stuff. I did that with my Divine
definitely.
series. You do it, don't you? You constantly, you know.
That's the other one.
Even if it's a bit of inspiration for, you know, because you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to write now? It'll tell you what, you know, or at least point you in the right direction. You know.
I got chat to, so I put my book in it, and I got chat to. I said to it, give me 6 slideshows. Each one has 6 slides to it, and I want the script to go on it. Did them fantastic.
Yeah, it's really clever, isn't it? And then you can just say, and give me the prompt for. Even like DALL-E now has been, you know, they just subsumed it into ChatGPT. I don't even think you need to go into Midjourney now. It's all just in one place, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
Yeah. I tend to use.
We always end up talking about AI, don't we?
I know. But I think it's really important, you know, almost like as a bit of a myth buster. You know, I get that people are scared, and it looks as though, you know, it could be doing baddie things. But if you use it as a tool, and you know, as an author, I use it as a tool for correcting things. I won't use it as you know, I'm not going to just outsource my writing to ChatGPT, because where's the fun in that? You know.
Yeah,
That's it. Writing's the fun
Yeah,
part,
exactly.
isn't it?
I
You do
enjoy
it for
telling the story. I just if I've split an infinitive, I don't really care. I just want it to be right. So I'm quite happy to say, "Oh, just tell me what I need to tidy up." But
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it do the writing for me.
Yeah. Well, how many times do you think, I wish I could just write my book and then move on to the next
Yeah.
one? I mean, now you really
Yeah.
can, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I reckon there's. Oh, it's taken me a week and a half to get to the point now where I'm pretty happy with having edited my book, and that's not a lot of days, is it? Really?
No, not really.
No.
No.
My previous editor had it for like 3 months, and she still didn't finish it.
Yeah, one of the authors I'm working with, he's 3 months, yeah, and he's reluctant to put it on pre-order until he has it back in his hand.
Yeah.
And it can be a nightmare. Whereas Skynet will do it really quick for you.
Yeah, we joke about it at work, actually, because I've got to the point where I'm known as the person that will use it quite a lot. So it's called Hibbs AI at work. So yeah, Hibbs AI says.
Right, Mike, we've had you for an hour, and it's been brilliant. This has been a really, really good first interview. What do you reckon, Rach?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for talking loads.
Yeah.
It made our job really, really easy.
It's quite funny because when I come to the end of the day and my wife says to me, like, crikey, I'll tell you haven't spoken to anybody during the day. Yabba yabba.
Yeah.
So it's been a great opportunity, and I'm no doubt my wife will be pleased as well, and she doesn't have to listen to the minutiae of my day later on.
Well, you can play this next week.
Oh,
so
she'll be absolutely delighted to listen to it.
Yeah. In case you misses you talking, yeah.
Are you gonna tell the listeners where they can go and find your stuff?
Yeah.
Obviously not your website, because it's like.
Well, my website is mikehibbert.com. There's not a lot there, so maybe don't go there. But I'm Mike Hibbert, author, most places, and so TikTok and Twitter, and well, I'm not on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm exclusive to Amazon, so go and find me there. My first book is The Warlock at Ridge Valley. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Well,
You will.
thank you very much. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our cherry popping
First victim.
author, Mike Hibbert. What a great guy.
It was great, and he was really chatty.
Do you know what? I feel like a real podcast now. We've interviewed someone.
Yeah, don't forget to send him his tenner.
Oh no, his tennis on the way.
Yeah.
So it's that time again. I think it's a pretty long one actually, because we were talking with Mike for an hour, and
we had about half an hour.
Yeah, we had about half an hour. So it's a jam-packed episode. This episode, and next week, neither of us have any idea what we're doing yet. So you'll just have to tune in and see.
Talk about stuff.
Yeah. Talk about stuff. Yeah, and you have a great week.
You too. All right. See you later.
Cheerio.
Bye.